Hello, everybody, and welcome to your AEW Dynamite review. I am Jeff, and to my left slash
Review.
what's his name? That guy.
This guy right here, you know what it is, Jeff. It's your boy Ryan. We back at it again, another review.
Pew, pew.
This time from our home city.
But we weren't there though.
No, we weren't there this time. This is the first one we missed, though, like we talked about before. It's the first one we missed. It's probably the
Last one we're gonna miss.
I mean, it's probably the best first one we missed.
Yeah.
Although the other two were pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like the shows they've had here were pretty solid. Like the October one, they had that ladder match, where Hangman Page came back. This time they came back with another person. So I mean, Philly seemed to bring back people. It's just we didn't get to see it this time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, this is gonna be the last one we missed. Man.
And we didn't get to see a tag team wrestle each other, which was a phenomenal way to start off Dynamite.
Yes. Yeah, that was really good. That was a tremendous way to start. You get Dax and Cash to jump off. It was a hell of a match. And you had CM Punk on commentary.
Oh, there we go. I'm back again. Sorry with that.
He fades away sometimes.
Yeah, so CM Punk on commentary, but you find out later that was a last minute change, but it didn't seem like it.
It had
a last minute change because Hangman and Page ended up having COVID, and I guess they're supposed to have a promo off or something at the end of this match. But it said they did this way, and again, it didn't look like a last minute change. Just it seemed like part of the show, and it didn't really halt anything in the way of finding out that Punk is taking on Hangman at Double or Nothing, or that we got a great one-on-one match with Dax and Cash,
which we really did. It was a hell of a match between the Dax and the Cashes. Real wrestling, and I enjoyed their trunks. They kind of had that. They went with the Heart Foundation.
Yeah, they went with the Heart Foundation with their names on it. The sad news to everything was I was hoping to see Bret Hart at the end of it, but secretly he signed a contract with WWE. I heard.
That's what it seems.
So that was disappointing.
That's very sad.
That was very disappointing. I think they came in and they obviously just decided, hey, let's pay Bret Hart a ton of money so he can't be on AEW TV. I think that's really what happened.
I mean, it's not dumb. You know, you can call it many things, but it's not dumb.
I mean, hey, take the money. I'm not mad at it. But I mean, he's going to be at their indie show. He was at the indie show, or he's going to be whenever that is, with the that tag match they have coming up.
Yeah, it's somehow that's not. It's like basically the contract was to not go to any major labels, but I guess it's still like yes, you can do it, just not.
But he can still do the underground stuff. So it's them taking on. Isn't it Brock Anderson?
Is it Brock Anderson? And
I know Arn's going to be there. I think it's Brock and Brian Pillman.
That's a weird combo, but I can dig it. So well, I don't know. I guess it'll be something we'll wind up finding on YouTube somewhere at some point. But yeah, it is a little bit bitter thinking that you're about to get a Bret Hart managing position here in the AENWs. But you know, we'll figure something out. It would have been cool for him, like, to hand out the Owen and stuff like that. Like, I think he would have been.
Yeah, that would have been dope. But I mean, I'm assuming the family at least come out to hand out the Owen. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I think like the wife will still come out and all, but yeah, it would have been cool to have Brett out there. Like, holy crap, that's a real Hart family.
Yeah, that would definitely have been nice. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But we got, but you know, the sad news. But we got what we got. But we did get a great individual match with the Hart Foundation logo on the back of the trunks. A real wrestling match tonight on the show to start off the show. And they pointed out that this was Cash's first ever singles match in AEW, and Dax has not won a singles match in AEW in the 3 he's had.
That is true. He has lost every one of them.
He fought CM Punk
really good efforts, but always lost.
Who was it? CM Punk and who else?
He's on 3, right? Probably was something during like the Pinnacle.
It was 2 or 3. He did CM Punk like 3-4 weeks ago.
I feel like it probably was like a Nick Jackson move, like probably during that feud.
Maybe
Him and Matt or him and Nick, one of them probably did
they
it.
don't do that. They don't do that. That's the other company that does that stuff. But
No,
yeah,
he
you may
does.
be
They
right. That
did.
may have been what
I
it
think they
was.
did a solo for their thing.
But yeah, when his brother got hurt, I think he had a couple singles matches. Or
Yeah,
his brother, I'm sorry, his teammate when Cash got hurt.
exactly.
I think they had him throw in a couple singles matches in there. But yeah, so we got this match. You got a suplex off the top from them. You've got respect in the beginning, and then Dax pokes Cash in the
Yeah, you
eye.
got a little
And
eye poke going on
then
there,
things got
man.
a little serious, and then you get the knee injury on Cash,
Yes.
and so Dax saw it was going to put the sharpshooter on, and looks at him and goes, "Oh no!" Backs off and does it again. This time, Cash stops him, and then a series of roll-ups is how they ended up winning that one, right?
Yeah, it was like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Right. I think
And
that's how that one ended. I mean, they had a lot of back and forth roll-ups. I know within the match itself, but I
yeah,
want to say
yeah. I
that's
mean, that's
how.
how they at that kind of a match. Like, there's no finisher. You're basically like, I just out wrestled you with a wrestling move, and that's just how it's gonna end. Like
Yeah,
that's what
that's
CM Punk
what
said.
it
He goes,
was.
he beat him with a pure wrestling move. There's no hijinks or anything towards that. It's just he beat him. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, they again, like I said before, you can always have a fight with your friend, your best friend, your brother doesn't matter, but you can always have a handshake at the end. It doesn't cause rifts, and that's what you saw here. They
Exactly.
hug each other, they embraced, they shook hands, and they're still tag team. They're still a tag team. They're still the tag team champs for Ring of Honor and AAA. And you know, what I mean, like it was one of those things where it happened, but it's still real life. Is you have fight with your friends, and then you make up afterwards. Like it's what you do.
Yep.
So you saw that it happened, and hey, they were good at the end of it. Then, like I talked about, CM Punk came out and did the promo to Paige, and basically this Kingston again in the middle of this.
Yeah, he does not like Kingston, and
No, it's
Kingston.
clear.
It's always like you'll see it on Twitter. So like I didn't watch that. I didn't see a lot of it live. So I kind of catch up on Twitter because at work, and all I saw was an "fu Punk" tweet from Kingston
Kingston said
around
everyone
that
except Kingston.
time. So then when
Yep,
I watched it this morning, I was like, "Oh, that's why he said it." Like,
exactly.
so they basically they just I've been jabbing each other, and they will have like this eternal, amazing rivalry for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I mean it's a hatred for each other. I will say though, we have seen less and less of Colt Cabana as things have gone on, which is
Yeah, I've just seen less and less of Dark Order though, so
that is true too.
that's the
Although they
other
were
thing
just
I'm hearing.
on all of them except for Colt, if I remember correctly, they were all on Dark the other night.
Is he doing
No,
more
Dark
pro
Elevation.
wrestling tees or something like that?
I don't know. Maybe he couldn't handle Tony Khan signing Punk, and he decided to just let everything fall at the wayside.
It's been 8 months though. Like I think at this point, it's like it
Yeah, I
is
mean
what it is.
he's been slowly transitioning away from it. Anyway, I've noticed he's not as prevalent. Like I mean, for the longest time on BTE, he was a piece of fruit.
Yeah, he was
So
fruit
like,
for a while.
so I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I know they had a 4-on-4 match. I think it was Dark Order. Maybe he wasn't. I don't think he was in it though. And then there was another singles match. The Dark Elevation had them on it. But right after this, and the Punk calling out, basically saying, you know, win, lose, or draw, you know, we're gonna have a great match. I can't guarantee I'm gonna win this match, which in my eyes means okay, you're not winning the match.
That's basically what it's saying is I'm
Usually
not
when
going to
they
win this
go
match.
that route, that I may or may not win, and usually means they're not going to win it if they're not
Yeah.
guaranteeing a win. But I mean, we could be surprised, but it doesn't look like Punk's winning it double nothing, which I didn't expect him to win this anyway.
No,
We
but
talked
you
about this
kind of
before.
want that to cement Hangman's, his legacy a little bit more as champ. Like his defenses are going to be against the best. Like I think that's very smart of them to do. Because Hangman has banger matches, but I feel like people still don't fully believe in him sometimes that he
Which I don't
is.
get. I
I
still
don't
can't
get
figure
it.
that out. I mean, the title defenses he's had has been more than majority of them, minus maybe Moxley. I mean, he beat Kenny Omega in a phenomenal match. He beat Bryan Danielson and was a phenomenal match. Adam Cole, both matches were phenomenal. The Dante Martin match was great. Like, I don't know. As someone who's watched his title reign and watched all of AEW's title reigns, I think he's had a good reign, just like the rest of them, just as good of a reign than the rest.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, I think his reign is better than Jericho's reign was in the beginning.
Yeah, I give Jericho credit only because
I mean, I'm giving him
being the
his credit.
first champ, you were dealing with the bare bones of the
Yeah,
company. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't really. He didn't get that chance to be champ when you bring in CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and Adam
yeah, no,
Cole and
he didn't have that reign, but I mean, I'm not saying his reign. Again, I'm not saying Jericho's reign was bad. I'm just saying that obviously Jericho's on a different level, but Page's reign is up there, in my opinion, just as good because of the matches he's had, whereas Jericho was just carrying the matches because of who he is.
exactly.
That's the comparison I'm making there.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, 100%. 100%.
Right after this, though, with that CM Punk thing, then we get to Scorpio Sky and Dan Lambert basically talk about how he's going to win the title back. Right, that was after this part, wasn't it?
I believe so.
He said he didn't ask Frank Kazarian to step aside for no reason. Like he has to step aside because he's guaranteed he's taking his title basically off of Sammy. Again, I point out he said basically without saying it, he's taking his title off of Sammy. And he said that I don't think guaranteed it, but clearly, he said it and things manifested as
they manifest
as hot potato things are with this title. Then we get none other than hometown boy Wheeler Yuta and the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club taking on none other than hometown not hero Nick Comoroto and the rest of the factory in QT and Aaron Solo.
Exactly.
Which they didn't.
They always get Comoroto on the show when
they did. They got him on the show last time we were there too. But the one thing they didn't do when they finally, because I was watching I watched obviously live, and we watched it afterwards. When they finally had Comoroto and Yuta at the very end, they did not say it's a Philly versus Philly fight here. They did not bring that up at all.
It would have been like I
thought that was cool key right there to say.
Yeah, I was listening in for that too. And I was like, come on, guys, you missed a golden moment there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they showed Nick Comoroto. They showed his strength against Yuta, and then they showed, and basically in this whole fight was obviously one. Hometown boy Yuta, he's gonna get those cheers. But two, it was to show because William Regal said on the mic, if he can't fight this guy, maybe he doesn't deserve to be in the Blackpool Combat Club. We can kick him out. We can kick him out as fast as he got here. And he was getting thrown around, and then he reversed it into I can't remember what it was. Then got into a behind the head choke, and then started elbowing the back of the head on the side of the head, and then you had chokes by Moxley and Danielson on either side of him. And then he just pinned them.
Yeah, with like that slide pin thing, right? And then
he did the seatbelt, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
the seatbelt pin after he bashed his head in with his arm like 18 times.
Yeah. So he showed his violence and his technical side. So they're trying to make him the combo of Moxley and Danielson.
Yeah, I mean he's doing a really good job of it. I mean the Blackpool Combat Club is being portrayed really well. This story with Yuta is being done really well as well, I think. And obviously now he's 3-0 since joining the Blackpool Combat Club because they've been in 3 trios matches.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. They're building them the proper way.
Exactly. I think they've built him the way he needs to be built. And he was a star. He was good when he came in and he first came in, and people have just gravitated towards him, and it's showing, and it's great to see that.
It took him a minute to get his legs under him, but I think he's in the perfect situation.
Oh yeah, definitely
for himself.
Then we jump. Damn man, then we jump over to Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, and Tony Storm again for the 3rd week in a row. We're getting these interviews without fighting, without touching, and it was. The first one was just Hayter and Storm.
Right.
And then the second one, I'm pretty sure, was Hayter and Storm. And then it was Hayter and Britt Baker and Storm. And now this week, it was Hayter, Britt Baker, and Storm again. But this time, she had a friend who also qualified in none other than Ruby Soho.
Yes. So then now you have that showing up, and you're like, okay.
But Ruby didn't agree to physical violence. So, I mean, she could have hit all she wanted.
She probably should have, too. But
I was waiting for it. But I'm assuming we're gonna get a tag match between those 4 women, because they won. Because Ruby won the fight, Hayter was ready to fight. Britt wanted to run the heck out of there, and I loved it when Ruby comes into play. She goes, "Brittany," and I was just dying because who refers to her as Brittany? It was
It's
great,
Britney, bitch.
right? That's what I was thinking. As soon as you said it, that's exactly what I was thinking. And
Yeah,
then
so that was a nice quick segment. They moved directly off of that, and what do we get? MJF and Sean Spears show up in a press box. That's after Wardlow comes out, and he says that Philadelphia women. What did he say? They do you know what they use as birth control? And they said their personalities. Good job. Um, it was exactly that. Because my friend keeps dying. Oh, he died again. His chair disappeared and everything, guys. He basically Bray Wyatt. So yeah, so MJF comes out to the ring after, and this is where Wardlow has to come out in shackles. He does the same. They remove the handcuffs. There is right away. I think there's like a tope um, from Lance Archer. We get some choke slam moments. Wardlow then, though, at the end of the day, he kicked out of a blackout, and then he wound up getting Archer after a fourth power bomb and a power bomb symphony, which shows how truly strong Wardlow is. That a power bomb symphony can be done on a guy like Lance Archer. So he does. So Wardlow gets the easy win here again, much to the chagrin of MJF and Sean Spears. They were very, very
sorry
mad
about
about this. No problem. He is back.
no. So I mean, they pointed out that the pin after the blackout that Moxley pulled on Archer to win to beat him, and they pointed that out that he learned from his mistakes, or Hangman,
He
whichever it
learned it,
was.
yeah, not to fall for that
Yeah,
again.
he learned from mistakes. And I was nervous because at the beginning it looked like Wardlow was just going to dominate him, but then they gave Archer that momentum, and I'm like, okay, so they're showing Archer's strength. They're not letting this be a walk on like Wardlow's big man, but like you got to show that Archer has been this phenomenal guy, and they showed that really well, I thought. And then, like you said, I heard you say Wardlow did win 1, 2,
Yes.
3, and MJF was just peeing himself because he was so mad.
Yep. So they were very mad about it. Then we come back and we have a Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Danny Garcia 2.0. And so all of Joss gets down the ring. They're doing a very sports entertainer moment with the tables and the chairs and the don't touch me's. We had a good moment in here. Cool Hand Ange called the WWE or the AEW Galaxy instead of the WWE Universe.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
So he had me PP a little bit with that one. Eddie Santana Ortiz come out. They look heated, extra
they
heated.
just run to the ring and just throw chairs.
Yes.
Throw
Jericho
chairs.
demands an apology out of them for not having him show up in Pittsburgh. This is when a Pittsburgh sucks chant should have started, but it didn't, and because we weren't there.
No, I mean, I'm surprised it didn't though.
Yeah. So then Jericho made the biggest mistake. First of all, they keep on capping this whole 5-on-3 thing. So
Yep.
it's just basically it's like a hint on there's going to be two people who join. Without
a
Eddie
doubt.
and them. So they wound up. So then Jericho says that he's putting a hit out on Eddie and the men's.
You don't say that to Eddie Kingston.
Yes. So Eddie said he would kill him in the real life stuff.
Basically, yeah.
And he said he's done it before. So he also just committed to murder. But he did do the gun to the head finger blast
twice
there,
to Jericho.
twice to him. And then he yelled at him all the way down a chair, which had me dying.
Dude,
Jericho's
face
was like laid out on that chair, like, oh God.
Like it was a great moment. It was a great segment. It was Kingston saying, in my world where we come from, hit means we end you. We've done that before, like you said. And like he was in his face, and Jericho's face just coming back as he's falling backwards. Look at the whole thing was great. Obviously, Jericho's a great performer. And it showed here. I think he may have pissed himself in the middle of that promo.
I think there might have been some tinkles. Yeah,
he definitely had to go crazy. And Kingston, does what he has to do and just walks off afterwards. But again, like you said, they keep pushing this 5-on-3, and I was waiting for because those 5 agreed not to put hands on, but I'm waiting for people to just come out of nowhere and just
Right, like
pop
they
them
didn't
all.
agree to it, and then pop, pop, pop. But I don't know who they have as who is the
Jabs are thrown.
suggested move there, but
Jericho threw jabs at you get yourself thrown out of another company and stuff like that. Like he went in on them.
yeah, Jericho did not hold back. But as always, another Joss, how do you say it? Jazz, just straight up jazz.
Yep.
So that was a good segment. Move that along, but also look like they're going to fight hardcores. Then we get a Philly street fight. They want to end it where they started. So it's Sheeta versus Deeb 5. I don't know how I feel about this match, to be honest.
You what about this match?
I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. Like, it was a good match, but I don't know, just a simple, she just puts her in.
I mean, it started in Philly and
it
it ended in Philly. I mean, that was the whole purpose. I guess here's the thing. I'm assuming, and obviously you don't ever assume, but I'm assuming that Deeb is supposed to be the next champion, just based on skills and what they have really available to them right now. So I guess give her the early attempt, take the loss, and then come back in another 6 months and finally take the title off of her. Because basically her winning this match solidified her as number 1 and that she's going after. She's going after Thunder Rosa next.
And I'm okay with Deeb versus
I'm okay Rosa with that. But I would think give her Karashita, then give her Deeb, or give somebody else. So then Deeb is a one and done. Like, hey, I beat you, I knocked you out. Like now they're gonna build that feud. Basically, they did with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, where Britt beat Thunder Rosa, and then now you'll do the Deeb thing and then pull it back. I guess. I mean, again, I could be wrong, and it may not even be. It could be Sheeta who takes the title off of Thunder Rosa. It could be Ruby Soho. It could be Tony Storm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be one of those other wrestlers. It could be anybody. But I mean, I was just thinking, like, with how good of a wrestler that's not even grammatically correct, but Deeb is. I mean, obviously she seems to be next in line anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a good setup though, because I think for Thunder Rosa's first real feud, not like the mini one she had with Nyla, like for her first real feud, you want it to be with a real competitor because Thunder really can go in the ring. So you want to have, and I think them two will be a really good first.
It'll be a great pay-per-view match. Rosa. I know that at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
And so then
right, be a very good first.
Like we talked about, like we know this is going to be the title match because right after that they showed Thunder Rosa staring at the screen after Serena Deeb won. Some great hard hitting, some great kendo sticks. Obviously, her attacking the knee was the big thing. But then we drop right after that is to the MJF segment where he asked Shawn Spears for the phone, basically after he tells Lexi Nair to get the heck out of here.
Yeah, he sure did.
Asked Shawn Spears for the phone and says, yes, need someone bigger, better, and you can't teach that, and smarter.
Yeah, he said smarter and taller, and you can't teach tall.
And obviously, they're hinting at one person, and it makes sense that it's going to be W. Morrissey, aka Big Cass, as he was known before.
Yes.
Because one, as we find out later tonight, we may have already found out, and we have talked about, you get the Deonna Purrazzo taking on Mercedes Martinez for the Ring of Honor Women's title to finally get a champ. The interim champ and the champ are fighting. So we're getting that match. And when he made that phone call, it's like, we already have a TNA. We have an Impact person coming in. Here's another one to come in. So, I mean, it looks to be like they're building that relationship back up with Impact and bringing them over. Yeah. But it'll be intriguing to see how this goes now. This is where
I think his is a one-off, but I think with
what do you think?
A little different.
Obviously, Jericho, MJF's good at bringing in people from outside to fight people that he doesn't want to fight, like he did with Jericho, with Gage, and everything else. But my thing, and this is the only thing I'm pointing out with this real quick, when you talk about Deonna Purrazzo taking on Mercedes Martinez, right? And then we're getting big W. Morrissey. If as of right now, every champion is an AEW star currently.
Mm-hmm.
If you let Peraza win that match, who is the Knockouts champ, and now will be the Ring of Honor champ, does that say, oh, maybe the relationship with Ring of Honor and Impact wrestlers with AEW? You know what I mean? Instead of just AEW, because all of them are currently AEW talent who own the titles.
Right.
None of them except for Jonathan Gresham are original Ring of Honor talent. If you have Deonna Purrazzo win this, does that show that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's what this is kind of like in its own sneaky weaky way. I think, I think that this is going to be a fully crushed open door now with Tony owning 2 out of 4 independents kind of thing. Like he owns 2 out of 4 rival companies.
Mm-hmm.
So he owns ROH and AEW. So and he's working with New Japan, and I don't think he's going to be silly enough to just be like, I'm just going to push aside everything I had with Impact. Like,
Oh, because we haven't
I know
seen
they were
Impact
on the
wrestlers in
outs for a minute,
forever.
but I think that it's just, maybe it was just like they did what they had to do, and like for like you didn't want to make it an every down occurrence, though. You know what I'm saying? Because then like
Yeah.
it's just one company at that point. If you're just every week, you're like, oh look, it's New Japan guy versus Impact guy on AEW TV. Like it just at that point becomes weird. But I think you'll get a better you'll get a better look of it, I think, now with this Forbidden Door thing. And I think right now Tony also is trying to explore how to use those ROH titles without having weekly programming it for that company itself,
Yeah, they're
but to
still working
keep
on.
the ROH name moving and not just through AEW TV or just like strictly AEW. So if you put it with a Deonna Purrazzo, then Impact people are going to want to
Mm-hmm.
tune in for that one. So kind of like you're
That's what I'm
a lot of
saying.
cross promotion, honestly.
It's a good possibility. That's all I'm saying. Like that's all I'm saying. Like I think that could be a realm. I mean, Mercedes Martinez I think would be a great champion with it. But I'm saying if you give it to Peraza, then does that mean that they're opening that door more for Impact and Ring of Honor to do more stuff with AEW? Technically,
Yeah.
that's all.
Well, we shall see.
Then what I was talking about with them bringing back somebody secretly, which honestly, I'm sitting here and my wife came home, was like, why are you so loud excited? Because she came home at this moment when they had Fuego's body, basically this dead body laying there in the middle of
Yeah,
top of the
he
ramp.
did have a dead body laying there.
And they were getting ready to carry him to the ground, and then you hear Apprentice start talking, and they showed a figure covered up. I'm like, he's covered up. I was like, is Phoenix back? And I'm going crazy. Like, that's Phoenix. It's not him. And I'm going crazy sitting at home on my couch. Obviously, it's just me. Everyone else is up.
Looking like a creep.
The babies are in bed. The 2 older ones were doing homework or whatever. And I'm going crazy. And she's like, what the hell is going on? I said, wrestling. That's what's going on.
Wrestling.
And
say nothing else.
Wrestling. And when you see them come down, and then they get in the ring, and then all of a sudden, Penta's music hits, and then Pac's music hits. And it's like, come on now. Their backs are towards it. What else is going to happen? None other than Ray Phoenix comes back because obviously Apprehensive comes out of the top. So they turn around and go, crap, who's that? And it was Phoenix. And I thought the exchange between Murphy and Phoenix were
it's what you want. You want it to basically get shot into your veins.
Yeah.
I want to see a Phoenix Buddy Matthews match now. Now. That I would have been okay if they fought in their suits.
The attack and then the kick to Buddy Matthews' face was just phenomenal. Like the movements. I mean, that match will be phenomenal. That 6-man tag will be great.
Yeah,
that trios match is going to be one of the best trios matches we've seen.
If they would have said that was on Rampage, I probably would have cried. That would have been.
I mean, as it was, I'm crying with what was on Rampage this week.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? The one show we missed, this is what you're going to do to us. You're going to like stack the show to like its greatest potential. Like, Jesus.
It was. I mean, again, they've always stacked the show in Philly. I mean, it's been a great show every time they've come here. But so that was that. We get Ray Phoenix back. Like I said, we got Hangman Page back last time, and I remember the first time if we debuted anybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that first time was so early. I don't think they did.
Yeah,
it was only the second or third show total.
On Rampage, which was a great freaking match we missed. The big rivalry between Swerve and Darby in the independent scene is big. And then they're bringing it to Rampage for the Owen Hart qualifiers. I was mad at it when I saw this one. I was mad when I saw this is a match. Then you find out that Danhausen and Hook are supposed to be fighting as well.
Yeah.
They said
they said the place erupted for Danhausen and Hook when the graphic came up saying they would be fighting on Rampage.
Yeah, dude, I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard you hear the fans because it pops up. The fans as they talk about because it shows up on the screen. If you've ever been to a live show, when they're talking about it on the TV, they're actually showing the fans at the same time, but we're not hearing it. But then the fans go crazy when they see what's coming up for Rampage, and that obviously gets played into it. And it was the fans went crazy. I was mad because we didn't get to see it. But they did show that you were getting Strickland taking on Darby Allin, and it was funny because Shivani said, "You guys are great friends going at it," and they go, "I wouldn't call us friends."
Yeah, I think you need to chill.
I was like, "Huh, okay, Tony, whatever you guys say," but don't think that was the way to go.
No, maybe not. Hey, great friends who beat each other up often.
Yes.
What?
But again, I've seen some of the stuff on YouTube with their matches. Their matches are phenomenal. So I imagine and I mean I've seen both these guys wrestle within AEW and obviously outside of AEW for Swerve. And I mean the stuff that they do is crazy. So the match is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait for Friday, where I hopefully don't pass out again, so I can give you guys a review.
This is key to life.
But then we jump right into the 10-man tag with the Undisputed Elite taking on Dante Martin, Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, and the Varsity Blondes in Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, as well as Darius Martin is out with an injury right now again. So that is why we're not seeing it, but it's not wrestling related. It's something else.
Yes. So
you got your high flying spots. Obviously, they gave, unlike squash matches. Obviously, they gave Martin his time to shine. Johnson, the Varsity Blondes, Brock, like they gave everybody their time to shine and everything else. But in the end, Johnson took the BT trigger, and Cole pinned him after he hit the boom, lowered the boom, and then hit the 1, 2, 3, and the Undisputed Elite win this match.
The Undisputed Elite trigger.
And then everyone walked out with the Undisputed Elite shirts except for Matt and Nick Jackson. They hand to him at the end of the thing. They jump up and celebrate. They're both wearing the shirts.
They're all in there.
All five of them.
They're fully undisputedly elite.
And then as like the as a great like Avenger pose, you have Matt and Nick on one side, you have Fish and O'Reilly in the middle, and in between, and then obviously Cole in the middle with the Bebe at the end of it all, each doing their pose. I thought it looked pretty sick.
I agree.
If you want to throw that as a shirt for next month for our crate, I'm cool with that. Just give me that. I thought it was a great pose. I thought it was great for a card that we still can get freaking hands on. Sorry, I'm really mad about not getting these AW cards. I'm not gonna lie to
you. Whoever the first person is who finds them, we're going to be like, we're going to cry in the middle of a Target.
Yes, if we ever find them in a Target. I was waiting. I'm telling you, the delivery yesterday, I was so mad. So then we go to the final match of the night, which is a ladder match for the TNT Championship. And it's a Scorpios guy taking on Sammy Guevara. The fans clearly did not like Sammy here, and really
I did not see this match, so
they really enjoyed Scorpio. So I don't know if it's they're turning Scorp face, or they just really hate Sammy.
I think so. I saw on Twitter after the match, I think it was, did Kaz come out at the end?
Yep, Kaz comes out at the end after. So here's it. So okay, spoiler alert. Obviously, we didn't get the full thing, but the match, Scorp wins the title. He's celebrating. Kazarian walks down to the ring. He looks at Scorpio. They shake hands because he said to him, "You will be the first person I defend this title against." They shake hands, and I will say this because they showed up, didn't show it. Dan Lambert and Ethan Page did not look happy. So I'm wondering if they're breaking up the Men of the Year, and this is how they're going to do it, or they're gonna hint like it was a gentleman shake. They showed it like the fans went crazy when Scorpio won it, or are they going to turn on? He's going to have Scorpio turn on Frankie in the match.
See, I don't know. I think that they kind of got Scorp over again as a baby face here. So I think it would be in their best interest to just run with it, like, because Ethan Page doesn't really need a tag partner. He's a really
No, he
good
doesn't.
solo
But they've
performer,
made
so
him.
let
They
him do
literally
that.
since he came into the company, he's been with a tag partner. When he left Impact, he had a tag partner who is now the Impact champion. So I mean, there's always been a tag for. I mean, he came in not as a tag man, but still with the Men of the Year, and ended up becoming a tag. And they still do solo matches. But I think by giving Scorpio the title back to back, and then that handshake, I feel like there's gonna be a match for that TNT title between those two because it's gonna break them up or something. But it's interesting because it definitely look like they're turning him face.
Yeah.
But does that mean Paige and Dan Lambert and them all turn face as well? Because
I don't know, because Paige
still in a
put
tag match.
on Twitter, they showed that scene there where
Yeah.
he did like the dap with Kaz, and Ethan Page just put on his Twitter with the video tagged ... and like one of them like frowny face things.
Yeah.
Not like the frown, like the ones like just straight,
Well,
like
because they've been friends
ignore,
now
like
for
ugh, this
yeah.
again. So it's like a bitter, I think it's like an ex-girlfriend showed up in the middle of your relationship and you thought everything was great. And then here she comes and he loves Kaz.
Yeah.
And
they tag forever. I mean,
and so I could see him and Kaz having a good match. I think that Scorp still wins, but then I think Ethan Page then says, well, then I want the next one. And I think it all comes down to Ethan Page and him having a match for the TNT title. And either Ethan Page cheats to win, or Ethan Page cheats but doesn't win, and it loses his respect, and that's how they start feuding. Because I would give a title like that to Ethan Page. I wouldn't want to give it to him right away, strictly because this title is just like being thrown at anybody.
yeah, you got to give Scorpio. I didn't like the fact they took it off of him after 7 days or 14 days, whatever it was.
Yeah, just like
you
to
got
get
to
the
have this
undefeated
title
streak
reign and you have to bring the prestige back to this TNT title. And I feel like it was diminished a lot this year so far.
After it got taken off of Miro, it's weird.
It's not been bad, but it's well, no, because yeah, I mean Darby had a great run with it as well.
Darby had it, and Miro had it, and then after that,
and I thought Sammy's run was good until they brought that Cody push into it.
But then
when
Cody took it, and then he took it, and then Cody.
December, January is when everything the TNT title is kind of just falling apart because Sammy had the title for I think 60 days before he lost it to.
Well, I think the title got caught in the Codyverse of madness, and like, so in that little time period there where Cody was on his exit, he like shit the bed on this entire thing.
Sammy had that title for 87 days until December 25th. So when Cody took it back on Christmas, that's when everything kind of shifted.
Yeah.
And that's when things with the title became back and forth because then Cody had it for 32 days. Then Sammy had it for 42 days. Then Scorpio had it for 38 days and then back to 7. Whereas before that, I mean, you had 91, 46, 31, 186, and 140. So like,
it's weird because with Miro and Darby, you were really starting to re-energize that title to be like reigns. Like I'm going.
It was like Sammy's reign of 87 days was a good reign. I thought like he still hadn't gotten to this gimmick he's in now, but he still had a good reign. He was still over with the crowd. You know what I mean? And then on that, when Cody took the title, it fell out of it because no one wanted to see Cody with the title again.
Right.
I mean that's
but then
really
only to flip it right back to Sammy is what was weird.
With a great ladder
and then
match.
Sammy loses it to Scorpio, who then a week later sends it back to Sammy.
I thought it was
a week later, you then send it back to Scorpio.
It was 38 days later he gave it back to Sammy because he didn't have the open challenge.
It wasn't.
But then 7 days later, like you said, Scorpio wins it back.
Yeah, it's very strange. That's too strange.
But like again, they haven't done this that often with a title that I'm not too upset with it. It's just like you said, we had basically from when Cody took it in December, this back and forth stuff, and you can't always do that with the title. Like I get wanting to give champions here and there, but you can't do that with this title when you want it to be so prestigious as they talk about it. So if they pull this off and now give Scorpio back a longer run of give him a 90-day run, 100-day run. I mean, obviously you want a title sometimes where they do change hands a lot when they're always defending it every week. I get that. But like Sammy and Cody weren't defending it every week and Scorpio weren't defending it every week for them to lose a title that quickly. So
yeah, it just was kind of, I don't know. It was funky to me. So it was just like, all right, like settle down with all this wacky stuff.
Now give Scorpio his title reign,
let
it
him
last,
go.
And then I think you bring that prestige back, and whoever ends up taking it off of him, whether it is a Frankie again or Ethan Page, or I don't know, the umpteen different wrestlers they have now in the company. Truth. Like Yuta's a pure champion; he could be a TNT champion. Like anybody else,
enough to go around. That's the truth.
Yeah, like I mean, give him his reign. I think he deserves a reign. But like the way they were running this title for the last 4 months, it's been like that other company where every time the title changes, like the next day type of stuff. That's literally what they've been doing with this title.
Yeah, which is the last thing you want to be doing.
Yeah.
So that's very weird. Like I don't know what else they're supposed to do. But I think that now you give Scorp the reign he was supposed to get, and then let's see where that goes. We shall see.
I like seeing Paige Van Zant come out and go back and forth with Ty. I thought they had some great back and forth in that match. The finger biting from Scorpio Sky to then throw Sammy onto the barbed wire ladder was hilarious. I loved it.
I did not see this one. He ate his finger and then threw him on the barb.
And then it was phenomenal. And then he grabs the title afterwards. But they had some great back and forth between everybody. And obviously we're gonna get a tag match. I don't think Scorpio's gonna be a part of it. I think you're gonna see Ethan Page a part of that, like we talked about.
Yeah, because it's at any two of you, right? So like,
yeah,
I could see that being the case. We'll have to see. That was it for Dynamite, right? That's how it went off the air.
That was everything. With the handshake, everything we talked about. So we have handshakes. They're gonna fight. We're gonna possibly see the breakup of the Men of the Year. We're gonna see a tag match as well. So we're moving along. We're moving along the ladder here. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how much of Rampage we missed was good. You get Keith Lee taking on Colt Gunn. You get the men's tournament qualifying match with Swerve and Darby. You get Danhausen and Hook. And the fourth match is... What was the fourth match? I mentioned it.
I'm looking right now. The matches were... We have Darby, Swerve. We have Jade, Kiera Hogan, Red Velvet
That's
against
the
Sky
match.
Blue, Willow Nightingale, and Trish Adora.
Yeah, we get to see those three, the baddies in action.
Keith Lee and Colton Gunn.
Yeah, but so yeah, it's just the baddies fight. So we get to see that.
We get Samoa Joe versus Trent Beretta.
Oh, I forgot about the Samoa Joe Trent Beretta match. They have a lot of matches on Rampage for only an hour show. Also, I want to point out last week's match with the last week's Rampage. I forgot I could do the reviews. I fell asleep. They had to cut 11 minutes off. I don't know what match it was, whether it was any Kingston match, but they had to cut 11 minutes off because it went that much over. So they could be doing this and just cutting time off and then going to put it on their streaming service whenever that comes out. As well as next week on All Elite Arcade, we get the preview of the console game, which I'm excited for.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be nothing but good times.
Yep.
Nothing but good times ahead. We can finally have our game.
That's all I'm waiting for. All right, so for myself, unless Jeff has anything else, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you on the next one. Right?
See you guys on the flippity flop.
Peace.
Later. Oh, baby. That's good.